You think you can run? No!
Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Dirty Gaming, and the first update for my 0.3 experience and character in Path of Exile 2. This video is mostly going to cover the character, and I'll be bringing a further review video out on the patch later on, once I've had more endgame under my belt. I've decided this league to make a crossbow Witchhunter using Permafrost bolts and fragmentation rounds for clear, and then the good old trusted combo of explosive grenade and explosive shots for bosses. Permafrost bolts got a huge increase in the freeze build-up in this patch, which means it now reliably freezes pretty much everything. Fragmentation rounds also got a huge buff to damage against frozen targets. This makes it a really good cheap setup to clear when you may not have amazing gear, and then the grenades mop up bosses, again even on pretty average gear. Now I have built this myself and I'm really inexperienced in the game, so I just want to point out this probably isn't a good build or optimized, but it has been fun and it does the job. I'm in T15 maps at the moment and farming mainly Expedition, as it works really well with this skill combo, as you can pretty much blow up entire packs before they finish spawning. It's also pretty good at Abyss if it's not so packed that you don't have time to get off 2 shots. I've done the first Simulacrum, Breach boss and Expedition boss. The latter 2 were pretty easy. Simulacrum is the worst mechanic I've played in any game to date. If you die once, which you probably will, you just get spawn killed over and over again because the mobs just wait for you to respawn at the checkpoint. Luckily, you get infinite tries on the first go and you don't lose XP. So I ended up when I got stuck, I just had to grenade, die until the packs died and I could actually move. Maybe when the patch hits and they get rid of some of the body blocking for rolling, it might be a little bit easier. It's also really hard with this build as the mobs move and jump around like lightning. It's really hard to get off a 2-shot combo before you're dead. I have spent a long time tweaking the gems, but I think I've finally landed on my preferred setup. The trees are a bit of a mess. I'm building 1 tree for crossbows and 1 for grenades. The crossbow is my tree that I'll use 98% of the time, so I'm stacking armor, evasion, deflection, and then crossbow damage, reload speed, elemental damage, the usual. The second tree is all around damage because I'm only going to switch to drop my grenades and then I'm back to crossbows. So it's stacking AoE, damage against elites and uniques, damage against monsters on low life, damage against immobilized targets, just anything I can do to increase grenade damage. The problem I have is I'm pretty badly colorblind and I have no idea whether I've taken the right points on the right trees in the last few levels, so I'm 100% sure the tree could be a lot better. We'll really quickly go over it a bit later in the video just to show the idea I was looking for. We'll run a showcase in a minute, we'll do a few elites and then we'll try and find an expedition, then I'll go over the character. There's a couple of problems I've got at the moment with the build. The first one will be fixed by GGG, which is that there's a glitch with crossbow switching trees. When you switch, your crossbow doesn't always reload, so you could drop 4 grenades on the ground, prime the enemy ready to explode them with explosive shot, and then it just doesn't trigger and then you don't do any damage because they move out of the way. The other issue I'm having is that My gear isn't good enough yet for Permafrost bolts to just clear everything on its own one tap in packs. I need to hit them 2 or 3 times, probably with this skill, to get them to die. So what I'm going for is Permafrost bolts into fragmentation rounds. But because the skill is almost powerful enough to clear on its own, it does sometimes leave some weird situations where you want to freeze a particular enemy, but that enemy dies, and then you have to go and freeze another enemy. It just does extend the time that you clear maps. It isn't a quick build to clear with because it is 2 buttons for the most part, so you're not going to be blitzing around like on a Deadeye with a bow, just clearing everything, or even the Deadeye with a crossbow, because we don't have the helpful things like the mark to trigger explosions, tailwind and things like that. But I'm really enjoying the playstyle. So we'll go and run a quick map showcase, and then we'll go over the gear and the tree, and then we'll close out the video. We'll actually go and run a T14 because my 215s are absolutely horrendous mods. I've got Chill Ground and Temp Chains. I hate both of those. They just make the build feel, or all builds feel, really bad. So we'll go and try and find a T14, and we'll just stick an Alchemy Orb on it. You'll notice I'm using the controller because I find it much easier to play this game. I'm getting on a bit. It's quite difficult for me to do WASD without just getting confused. So controller just works nicely. So this one's not great with the extra monster attack and movement speed, but yeah, we'll go for it. We'll try and find one with an expedition. So here we can do Delirium, Breach, and Expedition. Breach, I'll probably die because the mobs are going to be too quick for me to get off 2 shots, but I think I've just leveled up, so we'll go with it anyway. I won't do the whole map. We'll just try and do the kind of league mechanics.
You will never get that which you seek. Back down or die.
The most risky bit for me with Delirium is that very bit at the beginning, where the mobs just spawn right on top here. But it's nice when you get like rare enemies with minions, which I most normally do. You can freeze them all and then they sort of chain explode with each other. So I'm running Herald of Ice and Herald of Ash. I'm getting cursed by all the enfeebles and all the early weakness because I can't see them. But we'll keep going. When Delirium goes, I might be able to see a bit better because at the moment it's quite difficult to see what I'm doing. And then every now and again, if I think I might not kill an enemy with an explosive shot, I will drop some grenades. No idea what these do. Oh, it spawned a boss. Oh no, it's just oh no, it is a boss. Wasn't expecting that. So we'll see if we can get some grenades off. It would be easier if this wasn't in Delirium. Are they going to drop me anything? Or is this just part of the map? Oh no, it did drop something. Nothing that I want. Right, do you know what? I think we'll call it there just because I don't want to run around this map for like 7 years, which is the main problem with this game, is the ridiculous size of the maps. I can see a breach somewhere. I mean, we may as well finish the map. I'll cut to the more interesting content. Okay, so we've got Breach and Expedition in exactly the same place. So I'm going to clear the Expedition first just so I can see what I'm doing. So we've got a logbook one straight away, and I don't do very much lightning damage. So we can take that along with that. What's down here? Nothing really. Take that. Go up here and get this. And then more monsters, that'll do. Oh, I'm stuck. That wasn't good. Yep, and I got the crossbow glitch, which is great. Now I'm stuck because I didn't get to clear that pack.
Who's next? Make a wish.
Oh, I love these. You love these mobs. Okay, we got there eventually. That was messy as hell because our crossbow glitched out, but just about survived. I definitely need to sort my loot filler out as well. Okay, this is an absolutely horrendous place to have a breach, but... And there's a temp bubble straight away, which is wonderful. Oh, I'm a bit stuck there. Yeah, there's just... We're not going to get into that list because there's no ground for the breach monsters to even spawn. Yeah, that was a pretty bad, but we didn't die. But that was not a good example of breach when most of it was taken up by a big hole in the ground. But anyway, that's kind of how the build plays. So we'll go through the gear first, but it's nothing special. The crossbow is the usual, as much physical damage as I can get. Then there's a perfect essence that you can use that guarantees +6 to attack skills. If your mods are full, it can only put a suffix on. My suffixes are all junk, so it didn't matter what one it replaces. The way the perfect essences work is they will put a mod on and take a mod off, but it cannot take a mod off a prefix and put it on a suffix because then you've got too many suffixes. The helmet, life, resistances, body armor, life resistances, the ring, life resistances and stats. Over here we've managed to get a little bit of cold damage, big life and resistances. The belt, same again, life and resists. The gloves are pretty decent, they've got a tiny bit of rarity, deflection as evasion rating, and also big physical damage. The boots have also got the deflect as evasion, life, resistances, 30% movement speed. So none of the gear was particularly expensive, most of it I crafted myself. But it's working so far. I need to have a look if I want to carry on with this build, what gear I need to kind of up the damage or up the AoE. What I'd like to do is get the damage so big that I can either just use the Permafrost to clear, or we pick a different skill and clear. But at the moment, every other skill I've tried, I don't quite have the damage to make it really, really comfortable. So this is still the setup that's worked better for me. I have not really even looked at charms. This is what I had in the campaign. I've not done anything with them. This one I think is actually pointless because I think I'm immune to bleed. I am, because I've got an armor helmet, so that actually does literally nothing, so we do need to change that. In terms of the tree, it's a bit of a mess and it's a bit hard to read because your main tree is kind of light green and the other one is a slightly darker green. If you're colorblind like me, they almost look the same. But all we're doing is crossbow nodes, evasion, armor, deflect nodes for the main clear skill, along with like LE damage and things like that, crossbow reload speed. And then for the grenade tree, we're going all of the AoE nodes here. We're going over here and obviously getting all the grenade nodes. This one for me is absolutely fine because I have increased grenade detonation time. Not a problem because I'm going to blow them up manually anyway. So just realized I've been giving my damage by 80% on grenades because I had this node allocated because I read it wrong. I thought it was reduce cooldown recovery, increase grenade damage. I don't know why I thought that. It isn't. So yeah, the highlights probably not doing a build justice. But anyway, the tree is, as I say, just all the grenade nodes that help. AoE, we've also got all these nodes here for damage against enemies on low life, mainly because there's not many good damage nodes without going a long way away, so they seemed ones that were sensible to take. And then we've got some cooldown recovery rate because didn't know what else to take. We don't really need it. I don't take the reduced detonation time because I actually want it to be long so that I can kind of leave them on the ground for longer and explode more grenades. I've got all of these rare or unique enemies for the grenade tree. And that's kind of it. I won't go through the whole tree. There's not going to be a POB, but I will link my POE Ninja profile if you wanted to have a look at character. I definitely need to have a look at the grenade tree because these nodes now don't do very much. That's nothing, that's 4% because I fired one type of grenade. And then we've got like a little bit of cooldown recovery, small amounts of grenade damage. So if I can find a wheel near my tree that's better than this, I'll obviously go and respec it. So we'll go on to the skills. So the only ones I use are the ones I've got slotted. So I've got Herald of Ice because we freeze everything, blow everything up. This will help along with Herald of Ash to give us a bit more AoE. So it's just Herald of Ice, Magnified Area and Cannibalism so that I can get life every time I kill an enemy. Then we've got Magnified Area on Herald of Ash along with Clarity and Fire Mastery just to give an extra level. Clarity is probably not needed. I very rarely get low on mana, and when I do, it's from grenades, from spamming them, and a little bit of regen's not going to get it back. So this could probably be something else. Flash Grenade I use occasionally, but I don't think I've got the right setup because it's not stunning straight away. So I've got Flash Grenade, Stun 3 to get more stun build up, Heft for loads more physical damage, Close Combat because I'm more up close, and then Brutality again for tons more fizz. But I tend to freeze the bosses. I find it quicker than Flash Grenade. We've got Explosive Shot, which doesn't really matter too much because you're just triggering the grenades with it. So it's Explosive Shot, Heft, Elemental Armament, Fire Attunement, and Rapid Attacks. I could probably put something like Scatter Shot if I wanted to guarantee, but it's very hard to miss your grenades when you've got extra AoE. So the Permafrost Bolts and Fragmentation setup. I've gone for Permafrost Bolts, Ice Bite, because every time you freeze an enemy, you just get damage for all your skills. Freeze, just to get even more freeze build-up. I'm not sure this is needed because we already have 584%. Don't know whether another 50 makes a massive difference. We've got Cold Attunement for more cold damage, Ellie Armaments, and then we've got Fork. Fork is just because I want to freeze as many enemies as possible because that will make the explosions from fragmentation rounds bigger. I've tried every different gem in here. Chain didn't seem to do anything. The projectiles didn't seem to chain. And Pierce, although it's good, it had a few problems. So originally I was running Ricochet 3, which is all projectiles pierce, and you also get a chance to chain when they collide with terrain. The issue I had with this, I had this combined with projectile acceleration because what this does is makes your permafrost bolts go further. So if we just load up the bolts and we shoot them, this is without that extra range. You can see they sort of fall off to about here. If you were to put on this acceleration gem instead of, let's say, freeze, they shoot across the screen. It's a really nice one to have, but the problem I found with that is the way these rounds work is they fragment and then they'll split up and they'll go and hit enemies. They weren't fragmenting here, so if I had enemies in front of me here, like really small annoying ones, I'd freeze a pack, these wouldn't get frozen, then I'd go to use fragmentation rounds and they'd blow up on this small pack of enemies 2 to 3 times, and then this mob would unfreeze here. So it is really nice with peers, but it caused problems with really, really close enemies, so I kind of dropped that setup. And then the fragmentation rounds are settled on Cold Attunement again, more cold damage, especially because the versus Frozen is 100% converted to cold damage. So basically we want as much cold damage as we can get. I've got Deliberation, mainly because it was the only other damage gem left. I'm only going to use this realistically when I'm standing still, so it doesn't matter that I get a movement speed penalty. Close Combat, this is more for when I want to get up close and blow up a rare monster. Ellie Armaments, and then Elemental Focus, because they're already affected by freeze. We don't need to worry about inflicting more ailments, so it's 25% more damage. This one I'm not sure about. I've only just put it in. I'll have to see how it feels. If it feels really bad, then, you know, we'll switch it around. So I'm testing this gem, and you do move really slowly, but this is just a thing to trigger explosions. So I'm not going to be running and gunning with this. I'm just going to run, stop, blow up a pack, move again, blow up another pack. It's not going to be too much of an issue. And it's more damage for rares. It means I don't have to grenade rares realistically. I just freeze them and blow them up. No idea if any of these gems are the best ones. POB doesn't really give you very good damage numbers for support gems, and I'm pretty green at this game, but it's been working okay, especially now, and I was giving my grenade damage by like 80%. So I've kind of done a scuffed map showcase, gone through my gear, gone through the skill gems, and gone through my general experience of how the build feels. I'm not going to cover anything else in this video because I want to have a bit of a more thorough discussion about the patch and the pros and cons of it, but I just want to play a bit more of the game before I do that. Sorry this video's been a bit all over the place. Haven't done a PoE 2 video in a while. Not having like a proper POB and lots of external stuff to refer to makes it a bit more difficult. Thank you very much for your time. Take care and see you in the next one.